Hey, everybody. Little Murphy's Law here. Of course, the internet was broken like right before. 1 minute before we're starting to go live here. So sorry about that. So anyway, I'm here with Pete Olivia, and we'll be right back with Tech Tuesday.
Yeah, it's going much faster.
Hey, this is Rick Husey here with Pete Olivia, and today we're going to be talking about TruVision again. We're talking about the CMTS screen. Again, trying to recover from a little technical difficulty.
Pays to have good diagnostics.
Yeah, I didn't even get my mic all the way in my shirt here, so.
Here you go. I think I'm all good.
Yeah, right. That doesn't matter. So anyway, so we're here to talk about TruVision and the CMTS. Also, last week, another little technical issue I had, it looked like it's working today, is we can take questions live from you, and you can go ahead and we'll cover those at the end because I think we're going to be looking at the screen most of the time. But if you want to say hello right now, let us know that you're watching. That way I'll know something's coming in. But again, I do see the top part of the chat thing here, so I think we're okay on that.
Even though it says privacy and abide by our community guidelines.
Yeah, make sure you abide by the privacy rules.
All right, as long as you keep your chat private.
Yeah, don't give us your social security number or your credit card while you're chatting with us.
I don't know. I could use a new flat screen. But
okay.
Well, anyway.
Give it to Pete. So the CMTS screen, last week we covered the Modem Diagnostics screen where we were looking at maybe how to troubleshoot an individual subscriber if you were in the call center, maybe you were a technician out in the field, and you could look at that, kind of looking at it from a subscriber level. So today on the CMTS screen is more of a global kind of thing, right?
Right, absolutely. Yeah, if you want to just jump right in, we can start talking about it.
Okay.
I know when we talked about our own little private conversation before that, we talked about this could have been two videos. One video is, what's on the screen? Where is it all? What am I looking at? What does that mean? And the other one is, well, what do I go look for? And depending on your level of experience with TruVision, you might be in one of those two camps. I like to go in the latter camp, which is more along what things should I look for, but I'd say we probably give them a quick cursory overview to remind some people that may have want a little refresher, or somebody that's new to the tool might want to know. So basically what we did was to get to the CMTS screen, you go to your navigation and you expand out your CMTS and you click DOCSIS, and that will bring you to this screen right here. And what you're looking at is kind of a 30,000 foot view of your CMTS in the plant. At the top two are your statistics. When we do modem polling and whatnot, it'll summarize up all the problem devices that we've run into. In the middle, we have more at the channel level of the CMTS, and then down at the bottom, you have your online status and any codeword errors.
So a couple of questions that have come up on some of these. I know I misunderstood it. So on these RF levels, you see these numbers here, and you see the color coding. So the color coding is actually, it's not telling you, for example, if I'm looking at the top left there, I've got on channel 12/14, I've got 8 modems. It's not telling me that there's 8 red modems. That red is a threshold of a total percentage of.
Well, what you're getting at is, what is the color coding? What does yellow, what does red mean? Some people get confused when they see like these yellows. They'll think, oh, those are the yellow modems.
Right.
No, what it is, every count that's in here is a red condition. Every modem that's in there. So you actually have 8 red modems that have, right here, they have downstream receive issues. And if I was to click through, I'd get the list of the 8 modems that have red. So these are all modems that are in an alert status. It's not necessarily like yellow's good. Yellow, what we did here is percentage of devices on the channel. Make it red, yellow, and I believe it was, what was it, 5%?
Yeah, like if you click on percent, they can see the percent instead of the number. So
right, and that's what ends up happening is it's a percent of the devices make it go red. So if you have a significant number, it becomes red. Less significant, it's yellow. And 0 is green. Green's always good.
Right. Yeah.
So in a perfect world, it would be all green, but the reality is, if I ever see all zeros, I usually think, oh, there's a problem talking to the devices. I have in rare cases seen it, but there's some guys that are supermen, superwomen, playing, Marvel.
But as we scroll down, we will see some green, right? Because we're looking at worst on the top down to.
Yeah, it sorts by default. It sorts by the total. The total column is what sorts at the top. All these are sortable. If you click it, it'll sort worst to first, worst to least. And the same thing down here is we're doing worst case all the way to the left As you go right, it gets smoother. And as you scan, something we talked about is you got to it's a little bar here. That's a problem because SNR is really low. And as you scroll right, it gets a little higher. If you go to the next page, it adjusts up to in relation to everybody on the screen. So
it looks better, but it's not.
Yeah, and sometimes I go, well, hey, this one's worse than the other one, but well, no, it's just in relation to the 8 entries that are on this page. And if you keep going out, you might see it only has so many. But as you scroll right, the bars will adjust. Otherwise, you'd see nothing and be little.
Nice slice.
Yeah, you wouldn't even notice it. Some of the things you can do on the, and that's the same thing with all 3 of these in the middle. If you click through, it'll take you to a report of those devices that had that condition, and it'll sort based. If I click on, say, if I was to click on these 8 right here, it would zoom in on this channel. It would sort by downstream receive, and it'd show me the 8. Now, it would show me the other metrics that it might have that are correspondingly bad, but it'd also show me, everything but sorted by that. I know you liked all the red, so I'm trying not to click right now. So what are we looking at? The top 2 panels are counts of Modem R statistics polling that we did that were bad. We look for downstream receive, downstream SNR, upstream transmit, upstream receive, and upstream SNR. So, and we go, it's set to go every 15 minutes. We go and poll all that, and then updates. And you're looking at the last poll cycle, what we got. You could actually get it as it's coming in. You'll get updates on the screen if you were to refresh if it's in the middle of polling. Down here on the channel pollers, some of that's done a little bit more often, but you're looking at average upstream per channel at the CMTS. You obviously want a higher number of signal to noise. I mean, I guess, I don't know. You never have too high, but you could have too high in theory. And then you're looking at bandwidth utilization. Now we're showing the value here, but really it's they're sorted by percentage, right? And you can click between the two. On the downstream and upstream side. Up here, when you click through, it'll take you to a report of the devices that had the problem and list them out. On these 2 panels here, if you click on the bar, it'll take you to a report that shows you the customers that are on there, sorted by most used.
Go ahead and click. I was telling Pete earlier, it's like we're looking at a nice Codeword Errors here, and those change over time. It might be nothing, but just be aware that right now we're looking at Codeword Errors. I guess this is uncorrectable we're looking at here. So
yeah, you got a lot. And we found out with this one, it goes away and comes back, so we like when it's all red.
Yeah, but go ahead and you can click into something else.
So like if I click here, it's going to take me to a report of and then it lies to me. Now we'll click through. What's going on?
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe here. Let me refresh the screen and get it updated.
And this is, by the way, this is a real CMTS. We are polling here. If we happen to go to a screen with, it's funny. I wonder if we're still having internet issues.
Yeah. Oh, that would be interesting. You might want to look and see, are we streaming?
Yes. Let me check that right now. Let's see if we're having.
No, it's green.
Everything was good. Okay.
It may just be because we went away and came back. I might have to log out and log back in because it did mess it up.
Oh, okay. Why don't you do that?
Session.
Okay. So we are going to log out.
Yeah.
Now working through this.
There you go. Give it a try. There you go.
Okay.
That's what was going on.
Okay.
All right. So navigate back.
All right. For those of you who have not stopped watching, let me see if we're actually.
Yeah, we're streaming.
We're streaming. Okay.
Yeah, we're all good.
Okay.
So getting back to where we were, let's say we wanted to click through. I'll start up here. We click through to the report. We're looking at downstream receive. I got the 7 that was listed. It'll be sorted by the downstream receive. I can still sort by any of these other values, but we specifically click through to the downstream receive on that specific channel. It picked the channel. It's sorted by downstream receive, right? The alert types, it filtered those out and sorted by it. And then what you could do from there is you find out, who's the bad guys. You can click through, open up I can either click through here, open up a new tab, pull it up and see what it is. Oh yeah, I got a problem on the street. It's going back to where we were before. Yeah. That's how we would get to where we were previously.
And they can always click right there, yeah.
And you always had this breadcrumb to go back to the CMTS. You can click the back button and go back, but I don't know. I'm kind of lazy. I want to go back to the CMTS screen and see we lost all our pretty red code words.
That's all right.
But on these bars here, if you were to click any of the channel names at the bottom, it'll take you to the channel page, a channel overview. So I can do that, and it'll take you to the channel, and I can see historically how things are going over time. Oh, look, I've had RF problems on this channel. It went up and down, right? you can see actually they had some offlines,
yeah,
right?
sure did,
There's a time there was an offline. Sometimes you can correlate that to something else in the plant. Sometimes it's correctables or whatnot. Something bounced over there. SNR was a little bit low, and then it came back up. So maybe they proactively did some bouncing, and then we ended up seeing there's only one guy on the channel where things come up. Again, breadcrumbs are there.
You got your code orders on the bottom that we're seeing there. Right?
Yeah. So if you want to look at a channel in general, you can come in here, and this is the counts of the top panel we looked at on the last screen that had the counts. These are the corresponding counts, right? This happens to be, I guess we clicked on a downstream channel. So I don't have upstream here because I'm specifically looking at downstream, but here are the downstream metrics, and I could remove or add stuff, to the screen if I wanted to. Remove the bar. If I want to zoom in, like I don't care about the total, show me the other one. See, they're kind of overlapping.
You can drag.
Same thing here. You can say don't look at offlines, don't look at onlines. If I'm only interested in uncorrectables, I could look at that. And there is some zoom capability in here, like you said, where we'll zoom into a time period. Another thing that's interesting for people is if they're like, well, what's my stuff configured for? We put the channel name, frequency, channel width, and the qual modulation for the long data. There's actually 6 that could be in there, but that's what people usually are looking for.
You got your percent and value.
Yeah, same type of thing, percent and value options to go in. But this is at a channel level.
Oh, and you've also got history here. So you can go, if you want to really look at the long.
Yeah, like you could go over,
days.
and go over and look at 7 days. We kind of zoomed in, but here's a zoom out. Has it been going up and down? Has there been problems over 7 days?
Yeah.
And then you could say, hey, what's going on here, and zoom into that particular time period and see what was going on. Right?
Yeah.
And see at a high level, is the channel itself having a problem? And that's available on upstream or downstream. That's the same link that you get back on the modem screen that would drill in there.
Right, yeah.
Here we're looking at, hey, I've got bandwidth issues. I click down here, but hey, who's using all that bandwidth? I can click through here. It'll give me a list.
As long as your internet's working, it'll give you a list.
Yes, as long as you have internet,
yeah.
then you can see all these things.
Right.
But you can see it's all the subscribers you have that are chewing up all your bandwidth. You can see who the big guys are.
Yeah.
I'm going blind. I can't see, but you can see last 24 hours bandwidth. Currently, what they were in the last time we polled them, and then you can find out your biggest users. You can see, look, there's 1,900. It's 1.9 gigs, roughly 1.8 gigs, and you can see that there's just usually a handful of subscribers that crush your network, and there they are.
What's the red here? Because it's not the top guy.
That's funny. I'm not sure what the metric is that pulls that up. I'd have to. Okay. I don't know off the top of my head. But
some homework for you.
Yeah, there you go. You always give me something.
Yeah, something else you don't have enough to do. So.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. But usually, what you end up doing is you'll find out that this subscriber is probably hacked. They probably have their PC at home has been hacked. You can see over time they're definitely the big user. Look at the differences. We just happen to be sorting here. Like if we're sorting by current, it'll give me that. I can sort by last 24 hours. Has that been the case over 20? Looks like they fixed somebody that's not killing it, but was, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I have to find out why it's red there. It's probably a percentage thing of their
Maybe
throughput.
Package,
yeah. It might be a percentage of their package is what we're doing on the back end. I don't recall exactly. Okay. But we can go back and same thing here. If you do the upstream, you get the upstream utilization. You don't have a click through on this bar because average upstream SNR, the channel isn't subscriber focused, it's channel focused. So it doesn't make sense to drill through to subscribers. We're looking at average upstream SNR. It's the aggregate of all the subscribers. Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if we talked about this in another video, the modem status. So we actually have 2 panels for modem status. Some people maybe, I didn't even realize that node was in there. Traditionally, we've always had this modem status by channel. Who's offline, who's online, who's coming online attempting, and partial would be for bonded modems. Are there any that some of the channels are on, but some aren't? They're in a partial state. They won't be offline, but they'll have degraded service. So they might have a 100 meg package. You're giving them 4 channels. Some of the channels are down. They're only getting, say all but 1 are down. You're only maybe getting 30 megs max on the 100 meg channel. So they're just upset that they're not getting the service that they paid for. And it's just because the channels are down. And you can go click through. Fortunately, they don't have any, but you can click through the report, it will list out who they are, and then go see. A lot of times you'll see when you go to their modem screen, their downstream SNR is 0. They just won't have any signal. There's no signal on those specific channels. Some will be on, some will be off.
And something that may confuse people here is the totals, because we're looking at channels that would have more than one, like one modem can be on multiple channels. So
right, yeah, you'll find that, say like if you sort by channel name, usually operators will have these names like 10 and 11 will be given out to the same devices, 6, 7, 8, 9, or something like that. It might have a patch of 4, 8, whatever it is that they're giving to those subscribers. So that modem is on each of the channels. So let's show their counts will show up in each of these as offline, or online. But it's not. If you add up all these individual channels, they won't add up to this total, because a modem could be consuming 4 channels, but he's on that channel. And so when we click on the number, we want him to show up in the list. If we click through, you'll get the list of who's on that channel, right? And we click on online, so these are all going to be online.
And by the way, the reason there's so many unauthorized modems is this, again, is our demo database. So we occasionally will load a bunch of fake names and addresses in there, and then as modems get swapped out, they wind up becoming unauthorized, but they're really not unauthorized.
Yeah, and I don't want them all authorized, because then I can't show somebody what it would look like when they're not. So it's kind of a teaching aid. So your total unauthorized are here. Those are. So what are we looking at? Onlines are modems that are online, offline are offline. Attempting are ones that may be booting or power cycling over and over again. Partials are bonded modems that are missing some channels that haven't ranged on some of their channels. However many, we don't know, but it's listed. And unauthorized are ones that we don't have any accounting information for whatever reason. Either it hasn't been put in the system yet, or we just don't have it.
Somebody buys a modem and plugs it in.
Yeah, it could be somebody going down to Best Buy and getting free service, right? They're just saying, who is that? And you might have a situation where you come online with just an unknown package, no service, or you might have a default package you give them to come online if you do self-registration or things like that. And something we added in the recent past was the modem status by node. As more and more folks are moving into the bonded 3.0 world, they used to be, channels were 1-to-1. You only had one upstream, one downstream back in the old days and 2.0 days. But when you got the bonded, you could do multiples. So they started focusing on more on, I want to see what's on the node. That's, kind of your physical plant, not this node versus the channel. They used to be the same. So node and channel were kind of the same. But as people became more node-centric, we put in this panel so that you could see it in relation to your node, so you can click through. One of the advantages of this report is there's a way to navigate up through here to get to RF level by node, but if you click on the node name, it takes you right to the RF level by node report that a lot of the node-centric folks like. And so it filters it out, same type of thing, sorts. It's really a 3-dimensional problem where I've got a modem that has multiple channels and multiple things. So what we did was we rolled it up to what's the worst. So this is guaranteed to be your worst channel for upstream transmit power. Now you can click through and they might have more than just one. He's only got one channel. So he's killing my example here.
These are going to be.
But the theory is you'll see ones that have different, like this guy right here, he's got different upstream channels. He's got multiple channels. And different ones happen to be worse than others, right? So we've got the worst one here is 12.0 for downstream receive. And this guy is better than these guys, so it just picks the worst one. And that's kind of what we do. So that's your 30,000 foot level where you can go and see where are my problems.
Now, so they can put the node information in here a couple of different ways. It can get it automatically, or they can enter it. Is that right?
Yeah, you can change it here. You can change the CMTS if you like to live on this report. Some people open it in a new tab.
Well, I was meaning as far as where does the application get the node names from, or the node information?
Depends. Most operators will configure their CMTS to have no descriptions on their channels, and from that we read that dynamically from the CMTS every couple minutes, and then update that. Some operators feed us it through customer import. Then it gets kind of wonky, because if you get bad accounting, which node is he on? He's got 4 channels, and each of the channels is a different node, right? It gets kind of confusing. So your safest bet is always get off the CMTS, and then when you make changes in your CMTS, it automatically populates, it automatically updates. And related to that, some people like to live in this offline report. I probably went through too quickly. You can see all your offlines, right, on the CMTS screen. So I went down here to total offlines. Some people like to live here and see offlines, and you can rerun that as they're doing work. I can re-click it, and as fast as it comes back, I'll get new data. They might change CMTSs. You can pick a node, whatever, however you want to get to that info. I don't think we had it, like we went in this the other day and we didn't have any offlines on this node, right? So it was completely clean.
Yeah.
But you can do that and rerun it as you're doing work to see is it getting better.
And on any report like this, they can click on a map if they want to plot those.
Sure.
Map for some
Sure. You also have the mapping capability that lets you come in, zoom out, and see it on a map, or export it to a CSV file to get a list and maybe hand to somebody.
Yeah, or maybe sort by different things.
Yeah, exactly. The advantage of a CSV is you can slice and dice, cut it, do whatever you want. You can save it for later. You can pull pieces out. You can sort by what you want. You can, all the Excel functions or whatever CSV modifying tool you have. And then on the Codeword panel, we have correctables and uncorrectables. We default to uncorrectables, which is worst case scenario. And if you click on it, it should pull up your guys that have problems, right?
Right.
And then you can look and sort and feel, same type of look and feel. You can change channels, change CMTSs, same type of stuff, mapping, export, print, all the same kind of slice and dice functionality.
All right, so as somebody like a head-end engineer or something like that who's looking at this report, what are some kinds of things that they should look at for, how can they use this screen or things like that?
Come in the day, you can pull up your CMTS, look at this screen. Things that I've seen operators stick out, obviously anyone in the NOC, they're looking at offlines. And you can set this to just auto-update, right? And it'll just refresh I think it's every 60 seconds. Then you can look at offlines and just watch that. And if you get it, you'll see a bump, you'll see reds come in here. That's usually your NOC operators that want to say, hey, we got a problem on node so-and-so or channel so-and-so, right? They can watch that. Obviously, offline's bad, right? You get significant offlines.
Do we alert, or can we alert on stuff like that, like with pagers?
We do. We have options to see whenever these things go red, we can send you an alert on a per channel and whatnot. In fact, a lot of people, they focus in on upstream SNR and downstream bandwidth. Usually, that's like the main two that people alert on, and offlines, obviously. Those three are usually what people want to get alerted on, and we can do that. So those are the things you look at. Am I getting a significant downstream bandwidth? Is anybody red on any of my channels? Offlines. Is anybody offline? Do I have a significant number of any of my RF metrics that are red? Like this guy's got 100 and I can't even read that. I'm going blind.
109.
109 upstream SNR problems. So that might be a place for me to go and say, I've got an upstream SNR problem. Let me go in there. Is it on a particular channel? So I could sort by that and say, where do I want to start? So maybe there.
Right. So while this really isn't officially a P&M tool, proactive network maintenance, you can do some proactive things here by looking at aggregate information and then trying to figure out where you have a problem.
Yeah, and these are problems you're having now.
Right.
So that's the beauty. The beauty of TruVision is it's a right now tool.
Right now thing, yeah.
You can get a right now view of what's going on at a high level just by coming to this screen. Do I have offlines? Am I in bandwidth trouble? I have a lot of reds. Hey, let's go work at this location. When you mouse over, this one has some funky data because remember I told you about how we uploaded node names versus reading up the CMTS. In some place we're reading it from the CMTS, some place we've uploaded it, so the upload's override. You can mouse over any of these channels. It'll tell you what defined node it's on. But you can see, this node's a problem. We have a problem in MAC 132, right? We got to go there. And that's what you would do is come here. This might be your punch list of a problem, of a street that's having an issue, and you can start there. And you could look. It looks like the shore landing is dummy data again.
Yeah, it's not real. These are not really at these addresses, but you would see maybe a lot of
similar addresses. You can sort by address and go attack it that way. It might be an apartment complex and you see the same one with apartment numbers.
And the other thing you can do, I mean, again, one of the nice things about TruVision is you've got real-time information. Like you said, it's right now, but you can also, as you start looking at these problems, you can look at the history.
Right.
And see, is it happening at a certain time of the day, or is, did it start 3 weeks ago? I mean, when the temperature warmed up, you start having problems.
So we did by upstream SNR. So we've got low SNR. So you could go here and say they're having a problem. They haven't been flapping, but they have an SNR problems. Yeah, upstream code word. It looks like they're having code word issues. The street's got problems. Has this been going on over time? And we missed this the last time. Right? We didn't click through. We didn't click through to historical on the last one. But that's basically what you can do. You get the same type of thing, 24, 7 day, 30 day, 90 days, and you can go live. You can watch it live as
it streams in.
Yeah, as it streams in. But like you said, you can look at it over time and see, is this a problem? For this customer, has it been a problem? We were looking at SNR. It's been kind of flat the whole time. And, they even dipped down a little bit more. Is that everybody? What's the average SNR? We can go back to the channel itself. And what does the average SNR look? Yeah, everybody got a dip, right? So it was a little bit better, and all of a sudden there was a little dip here at 11:30. So it's not just this customer. It looks like it's the average upstream SNR for all customers on that channel.
You can see the correctable.
Yep.
You see the code word errors right at that same time. Right?
And at the same time, you got code word error problems. Perfect example, right? Hey, we've got some kind of signal quality issue here. And then you'll see what you're seeing, these bandwidth spike, probably from people not being able to get good throughput. It's retransmitting, and all of a sudden everything floods through as it comes in. You also see an increase in the number of devices that, that's interesting. Look, you had a big flip. You had a flip flop. So you had 71 devices on here, and then all of a sudden, boom! Looks like you had a big channel change. Something in your plant changed. You had 71 customers roughly on this channel. You had a bunch. They all got lower. They're changing channels. Something's making them change channels. Maybe it's dynamic load balancing or something like that's going on. But the plant's doing something to
compensate that?
Yeah, okay. Possibly, yeah. So these are kind of how we get down to the modem level from higher up. Keep going back. Let's just go back to the CMTS screen. But that's what I was saying, is you start here, and you can start by, hey, what's going on at these locations? Drill through. Start looking at a couple. Is there a commonality in the address? Is there a commonality in the channels, right?
Or even the equipment. We can sort by the modem manufacturer and the...
Yeah, and that actually, we've run into situations like that where customers are like, hey, it appears that the Eris 2670 is having a problem, and they can filter it out.
Like a firmware change or something causes a problem.
Yeah, like you have the option. Let's see if there's any on here. Like I can say, are there any Eris? Let's see if there's an 862p. Maybe, maybe not. Yeah. Say, oh, I noticed they happen to be all the same models, right? And that you can look for patterns like that. But that's what the CMTS screen is supposed to help you do, is at a high level, what's going on in my plant at a high level, bandwidth, RF problems at the modem, online, offlines, am I getting code words, and then drill through into the detail. You can also zoom back out and see if there's a correlation.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Well, if you hung with us during the technical issues, we appreciate that.
Hope it all.
If you're still listening.
Yeah.
I think somebody would be knocking on the door because they always check to see if we're broadcasting. So.
Probably like, when are you going to start?
Yeah.
We're probably talking ourselves.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So again, thanks for joining us. If this is...
You want to check if there's any chats or...
Yeah, I don't see anybody on. Let me double check. Yeah, that's kind of big.
Yeah, it did that big chat thing again on you.
Yeah, let's just look real quick. I'm going to check. See if there's anybody.
Makes it real easy not to have to answer questions if there's no
true.
chat, right?
Yeah, I don't see any questions. So I noticed last week somebody said, hey, good to see you guys, and I didn't see it, but this time I don't see anything, so looks like we're good there. Don't forget that if this video was helpful, please like it and subscribe to our channel. We do videos every Tuesday at 3 o'clock. Sometimes they're on a product that we have like TruVision. Other times it just might be a general industry topic. For example, a couple weeks ago I did something on 5G, and would that be an impact for internet service providers, that kind of thing, for people that are providing wireline broadband service. So we do topics like that. I'll have guests like Pete and some others. So
what's next week? Are we
next
doing another
week,
one?
Yeah, we are. Next week, Pete and I are going to talk about DOCSIS 3.1 and TruVision and the OFDM tab, right?
Yeah.
And some of the
probably common things to look for in the OFDM world.
Yeah.
What you can see in TruVision, right?
Yeah, you may not have DOCSIS 3.1 now, but you can see what's in TruVision for that, or if you do have DOCSIS 3.1, you can see what's on the OFDM.
Maybe
module.
some things to look for. We'll cover like things that you should look for at a preliminary level and where you can find it in TruVision.
Yeah. Okay. So thanks again for joining us, and again next week, 3 o'clock, the same time, same channel. As long as the internet is up and running, we will be.
Yeah, and I guess we're in the market for a new internet service provider.
Apparently so. Or Wi-Fi, a new Wi-Fi provider.
I wonder, can we find any operators that might provide internet service?
Maybe. I don't know. I have my code today. And next week, hopefully, we'll have everything tucked back in again by the time we get started.
Sure.
I was running around trying to get a cable connected. It was interesting for the first minute here. So thanks again, and we'll see you next week. Bye.